Last September 30, we saw the crowning of 3 women from pageant powerhouse countries, the Philippines, India, and Puerto Rico. Today, we will be talking about those 3 ladies and our assessment of their chances on the Miss Universe stage. Hi and welcome back everyone. My name is Jason Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts, where you get fearless views on pageant-related issues and topics. Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell for more pageant-related content. Puerto Rico, India, and the Philippines are one of the more popular countries when it comes to the Miss Universe pageant. And this is why napakagandang pag-usapan for today yung mga kinoronahan nilang mga ladies for the 70th Miss Universe pageant happening later in December in Eilat, Israel. First on the list na pag-uusapan natin today is Harnaaz Kaur Sandhu of India. She is 21 years old and she stands 5 foot 9 inches. She competed previously in the Femina Miss India competition in 2019, where she landed among the top 12. Currently, she is pursuing a master's degree on public administration. I love the fact that this year's India is sending a very strong girl to the competition, and she is a great follow-up after Adeline Castellino's third runner-up placement in Miss Universe earlier in Miami, Florida. Ang masasabi ko about Harnaaz is napakaganda ng kanyang face. She's one of the most beautiful faces that we've seen in the Miss India competition, in the Miss Diva and the Miss India competitions, I would say, in the past maybe 5 years. Yung kanyang mukha, napaka-commercial, napakaganda, napaka-sarap ayusan because she can pull off, I believe, a range of looks. And this is, I think, owing to the fact that she is a commercial model and she is also an actress. So yung training niya as an actress, pwede niyang dalhin ngayon in the competition later on sa Miss Universe because she can channel different looks, different emotions, and konting practice siguro doon sa the way she projects on stage, because I think on that area, she's only, she's content with her smiling in her presentation, and sayang yung opportunity that she could have used different facial expressions to really strengthen her her overall performances later on. However, we also need to point out that Harnaaz is one of the best walkers, one of the most fluid walkers among the Miss Diva Universe candidates this year. There is such a smoothness to her pasarela, to her walk, and she has a very, very strong but at the same time very feminine twirl, feminine way of turning that it looks like it is second nature to her, and I think she needs to incorporate that in her choreography later on. With Harnaaz, I believe India is poised to get back in the top 10, top 5 of the Miss Universe competition because I think Harnaaz is a strong girl overall. Hindi rin natin pwedeng ikaila that this year the Miss Diva Universe pageant has a wealth of women who are strong candidates, and that is why it is so hard for me to narrow down my favorites to just maybe 5 or 6. In fact, I had like 9 women who I believe could have easily managed to win the title. And doon sa top 6 ko, 5 sa kanila ang nakapasok sa actual na top 6, and one of my dark horses ended up as second runner-up. So lahat sila mula kay Ritika, mula kay Anshika, mula kay Harnaaz, Sonal, and Tarini, lahat sila nakapasok sa top 6. And in fact, having Ritika Katnani winning, Miss Supranational India, who was also my second choice, is something that that it says something about the strength and the competitiveness, the level of competition in the Miss Diva pageant. Isa sa mga gusto ko rin na mabanggit is yung the way that Ritika Katnani had a very strong presentation. She had a very magnetic presentation on stage. Kaya hindi ako nagtataka that she ended up with a supranational title. She is also, very young at 19 and she stands 5 foot 8 inches tall. Going back to Harnaaz, I think that Harnaaz is arguably the face of the Miss Universe competition as of now, alongside with Natalia Ferreira of Paraguay. Later on, kapag makita pa natin yung mga iba pang mga candidates ng Miss Universe this year, saka natin magigauge lalo kung tama ba yung initial assessment natin na Harnaaz is arguably one of the best faces in the competition this year. For now, what I know is that there are 60 candidates, confirmed candidates, after the winnings of, after the crownings of the representatives of India, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. Miss Universe Puerto Rico was crowned later in the day, last September 30th. And again, this time around, isa sa mga expected, one of the most expected girls to do well in the competition won the title. Michelle Marie Colon is 21 years old. She stands 6 feet tall, and she is a accomplished model in Puerto Rico, having had modeling assignments with names like Giannina Azar and Vioni Straccia. So, kumbaga, hindi rin siya yung tipong surprise winner because she is one of the girls that we were expecting to win from the get-go of the competition. In fact, the first time that I was looking for the candidates of Miss Universe Puerto Rico, a month back, si Michelle yung unang-una kong napansin. And yes, there is other strong competitors like Oksana Rivera, but for me, I think napakalakas ng chances ni Michelle because she has that commanding, statuesque na figure and poise, and hindi mo siya pwedeng baliwalain in terms of her performances because she knows she owns the stage. In fact, several months ago, nakasabayan din niya si Nellis Pimentel na naglakad sa New York Fashion Week for one of the Latino designers at that time. So, meron kang maaasahan when it comes to the performance level kay Michelle. It's also very interesting to note that hindi siya yung hanggang ganda lang because at her age, she was able to bring to birth her own advocacy program entitled CARE Empowerment Program. And hindi mo rin maaalis that on the academic side, she is taking biology and pre-medicine. So, kumbaga, she has all the necessary requirements to make it well in the Miss Universe competition later. Let's not also forget that at 6 foot, at 6 feet tall, hindi siya pwedeng ihilera sa mga girls na hindi mo siya mapapansin. And I believe that she is probably going to be one of the more tall candidates, one of the taller candidates later on in the competition. And being in a very competitive group, the P group of the Miss Universe competition, hindi ka pwedeng magpa petiks lang. You cannot afford to send a mediocre candidate. And for the past 4 years, since WAPA TV took over the Miss Universe Puerto Rico franchise, they have always been sending strong ladies, and this year is no different from that. Michelle, I believe, is more likely to make it to the top 5, top 10 of the competition if she plays her cards well. Kasi physically, perfection na siya. She has all the ingredients to win. I love her dusky, brown skin, her Afro-Caribbean descent. I love the fact that she is not your typical beauty queen na mestiza, Caucasian looking that we usually see in Puerto Rican candidates, but we see in her, how diverse the populace of Puerto Rico is, and there is, there is warmth and joy and empathy that emanates from her that I cannot explain, explicitly. But when you see her, parang ang gaan ng loob at you are drawn into her because of that. So I would expect Puerto Rico to really do well in this year's competition. And finally, the last lady on our list is Miss Universe Philippines Bea Luigi Gomez of Cebu. What I really am excited about Bea is the fact that she's a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. I think that it is high time that the Philippines would have a representative of the LGBTQIA+ community at the Miss Universe level. What I am very excited about is the fact that she is 26 years old, so ibig sabihin, she's 26 years old, so ibig sabihin meron na siyang enough life experience na pwedeng pag-usapan in the competition later on, and that she is also tall and statuesque at 5'9". Yung kanyang modeling career, she can easily translate that on stage, as we have seen her in the MUP competition earlier last September. Hindi rin natin maaalis the fact that being the holder of being the bearer of the Philippine sash, it automatically gives her enough spotlight so that she can make use of that spotlight to talk about herself, to talk about her experiences, to talk about her Philippine Navy reservist background, to talk about her sexuality in the Miss Universe competition, especially in the fact that Miss Universe is now very keen on representation. I think that's one of the key things na pwede nating asahan na dadalhin ni Bea in her competition in Israel later on. Hindi ko rin pwedeng hindi i-point out yung the fact that Bea is a very strong girl when it comes to stage performance. Maybe a little bit more polish on the styling, a little bit more personality when she engages, when she talks to people, when she communicates. I think that would help her immensely in the competition later on. But everything that you need for a strong candidate, I believe, meron na yun kay Bea. It's just a matter of honing those skills, making sure that everything, every stone is not left unturned. Everything that she needs to prepare for the competition is given to her, and she's given all the support that she needs, because with just 2 months going into the competition, which will be held sometime later at the end of November or early in December, napaka-tight nung preparation time niya to polish the things that she needs. It also helps that maybe she needs to start tweaking the way that she engages on social media, because yun yung isa sa mga areas na kulang siya. But in terms of the physicality, in terms of the way she communicates, I think she's more than capable on those aspects. So I would hope that at least a top 10 finish would be possible with Bea, and konting push pa ang kinakailangan to make that very difficult na top 5 na placement. Overall, among the all three girls na nakoronahan, makikita natin it's very, very obvious na pahirapan ang magiging competition later on for the Miss Universe pageant. And we've seen other countries crown their queens. We've seen countries like Venezuela and Mexico who are giving us all very complete package ng mga candidates for the competition. And kahit nasabihin natin appointments lang yung sina Deborah Halal and si Luisa Materan, hindi mo maaalis the fact that when it comes to stage performance, napakalakas ng mga girls na ito. So, kinakailangan ang ipadala natin is not only strong on the communications part, but also strong on the performance aspect. And I think with the three girls na nakoronahan for India, Philippines, and Puerto Rico, we have that. We have those, strong girls who would really kill for a spot in the top 20, perhaps, of the Miss Universe pageant later. My only worry is that they need to start really polishing what needs to be polished and addressing the problem areas that they need to address starting as early as now. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng iasa na lang sa chance na kaya namang madala ng sash ng India or ng Philippines or ng Puerto Rico to make top 20. If last year a pageant powerhouse like Venezuela failed to make it to the top 20, then how much more yung mga hindi powerhouse na mga countries na na nais din na makapasok sa semis. So we really need to address those problem areas. I think with the Miss Universe Colombia and the Miss Universe Thailand coming in later this month, mas lalong gugulo pa yung mga sinong pwedeng manalo for Miss Universe later on. So we really need to nail things down for India, for the Philippines, for Puerto Rico to be able to really capture their next Miss Universe title. Overall, I am quite happy with the results of the Miss India, Miss Diva Universe, Miss Universe Philippines, and Miss Universe Puerto Rico pageants. And I think all three crowned ladies are great reps for the international competition later on. So I hope later that magkita-kita ulit tayo dito sa aking channel because ang next na pag-uusapan natin when it comes to the Miss Universe pageant is perhaps, who among all of these crowned women is most likely to win the title. And before we close out this video, I just want to ask everyone to please, support us on our Buy Me a Coffee page. It's linked down on the description below. Any donations would help us in growing the channel. And that's it for today's video. I hope to see you again soon in our next content because we will be talking about the 90s, and why the 90s is one of the best, if not the best, decade in pageantry. So take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.